What's going on, guys? So today, talking in Discord with one of my guys, Kung Fu Brandon is his name. He asked me if I had done or if I had played a deck yet with this card here, Haru Specs. I don't know if I'm saying that right. No idea. But I had said no. I'd never seen this card before, or never really thought about making a deck around it. So that's what we're doing today. I went ahead and traded, got a hold of a copy right away after he mentioned it, and I said, yeah, I'll try it. Let's put a deck together and see what I can come up with. So I decided to combo this card, which says if your deck has 5 or more life on land cards and 5 or fewer the Roman Empire cards, your life on land cards lose 15 permanently, and all other cards, wherever they are, gain plus 10 permanent. So you're getting a nice permanent buff on the majority of your deck. So if I have 5 minimum cards, basically 13 other cards in my deck are going to get that plus 10, so 130 power. So pretty decent overall, I feel like. And let's check out the rest of the deck. So I decided to combo it with a card, again, I had never played really, Jinn. I think it's kind of a neat card. I've been wanting to do a deck on this card for a while now. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. But this card says, when played, if your deck has 5 or more space cards, your life on land cards, wherever they are, gain plus 15 until played. And then if your deck has 5 or more life on land cards, your oceans and seas cards, wherever they are, gain plus 15 until play. And then again, oceans and seas with space. So it's basically asking you for a 5/5/5 or higher deck. So that's what we did. We went ahead and did the 5/5/5 with life on land, oceans and seas, and space. And then we had... That's 15 slots right there. So we have 3 extra slots. I decided, well, let's see if I can slot Heimdall in there, and then we just do 3 other albums, and we can take the advantage of this Rainbow Heimdall build with this plus 30 for the round it gives. And obviously this is one of our other 3 off random cards. And third was, where is it? Oh, I just passed it, didn't I? Oh, Jet Car. So I added a nice game-winning finisher card just to give us a little extra here. So actually played this earlier today against Kung Fu Brandon. I had, instead of Jet Car, I had Simulation Theory in the deck for a little extra energy reduction. But his Paleontology deck actually kicked my butt. So I said, I might be able to get away without Simulation Theory, give myself a little more raw power here. So we opted to toss Jet Car in. And I played it earlier. I only played 3 rounds. I won all 3, so I don't know now if when I get to round 5 I'm going to be struggling. I might be, so we'll see if that happens here or not. But energy is going to be a concern, especially this week, because obviously, you get it all up front. You want to blow through it, and then at the rounds 4 and 5, you're going to be tend to be struggling a little more unless you planned accordingly. So let's see. So the rest of the deck, like I said, we did Life on Land as the first 5. So plain Zebra. It's kind of my knockoff El Dorado, since we can't put another history card in the deck. Opted for Zebra. So again, when return, gain plus 3 energy regen and plus 10 for the round. I wanted to do a little bit, kind of a funnish deck, so I opted for a little bit of lock in here, along with a little bit of drain mechanic, because I do like both those archetypes. So we went with, for our locking mechanisms, we went for Praying Mantis, just to add a little disruption to our opponent. Sometimes it might lock a key card like Heimdall on his round 1, and then he doesn't get to play it, so could potentially help us out a lot, So that's why I just kind of like a little bit of disruption here and there. So that is one of the lock cards we added. We also added a couple other lock cards. Cockatrice here. When returned, an opponent's random card in hand locks for 3 turns. And we added Kepler 13AB. When drawn, an opponent's random card in hand locks this turn. I think that's all the lock cards, just a splash of it. Nothing too crazy. We've got Yellow Jacket, just a nice hold card I'm going to be debuffing my opponent's hand with. Occasionally, if nothing else is really lining up to play, we'll play it if we need to in a pinch. Not a problem. Other cards, we said Jet Car, kind of our finisher. Pfeiffer's Flamboyant Cuttlefish. Again, a little bit of drain mechanic here. And we went with the Cephalopod package as well. So you can see we've got the cephalopods down here. Big Fin going to be our energy regen option for the plus 2 permanent. We've got Portuguese Man War stealing a little energy, like I said, along with Cuttlefish and Flapjack and Colossal Squid. Going to be our buffers to the Cephalopod archetype, so get them a little larger. Same kind of premise with Planet X buffing up our space cards permanently, along with Supermassive Black Hole. Star Shade's a neat card. Kind of goes with if your deck has 5 or more space cards, 5 of your random non-space cards get that plus 15 until played buff. And finally, we've got Steven's Quintet. When drawn, your cards in hand with 7 or more base energy get that plus 22 and cost 3 less. So again, trying to help myself on this energy this week can be an issue. So have a lot of 7 and 8 drops in this deck. So if you don't get that big fin down early, and start stealing energy right away, you could end up in some trouble. So let's see how the deck does. So far, like I said, I played 1 game with it, and with this new jet car variant anyway, and it did really well. So we'll see if I can continue that. But as we load in here, as always, good time to say, if you guys enjoy the content, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We are still trying to reach that 1,000 sub mark. We're not there yet. Still got probably about 250 more subs to go, and we will be at the milestone. So excited for that, as always. I can't wait. I think that'll be a cool milestone to hit. But aside from that, guys, I'm trying to think. Oh, so I was talking the other day to you guys. I was talking about the sports cards. I've been kind of getting into the hobby a little bit again since as a kid. I was huge into baseball cards. I mean, it was like my passion. Baseball in general was just kind of my passion as a child. And then growing up, I kind of got out of the hobby a little bit. Didn't really collect cards anymore. Kind of Pokemon, same deal. I had those as a kid as well. But so now that I've got 2 kids, I've kind of wanted to get them into the hobby a little bit. So I've been looking for ways to, again, buy and sell cards, kind of make some money doing it, for fun. Kind of teach the kids how to barter and stuff at trade shows when they get a little older. But so kind of why I started talking about this. I actually decided the other night I wanted to buy some basketball. So I had never really collected basketball that much as a kid. I was primarily baseball. So, but when I did like basketball, obviously I was a huge Jordan fan, like most people when they were, in the early to mid 90s, people who watched basketball, everybody loved Michael Jordan. So I ended up buying a box of 1990 Fleer, and it actually showed up yesterday, wax packs. So I was super excited to crack these things open, and wouldn't you know, open the box. The box already kind of looked a little sketchy because back then those packs weren't, or those boxes weren't sealed up like in plastic and everything. They're basically just open like a raw box that you can flip the lid on, and look inside. So I was already a little sketched out by the purchase on eBay, but lo and behold, the packs already looked kind of like almost tampered with when I got them, and started cracking packs open, and sure enough, not a Michael Jordan in there to be found. I was so upset because clearly, like, the packs had been searched and resealed. You can really tell because they weren't sealed very well, a lot of them. And I looked online, watched some videos on how to tell when, packs have been tampered with. And immediately after watching the first video, I was like, oh, yeah, these packs definitely look like they'd been tampered with. The guy was showing what a regular unopened pack looks like. And I'm like, yeah, mine don't look that nice. These things come all disheveled and kind of falling apart. So immediately clicked the refund button, and the guy wasn't accepting refunds, but inevitably I lodged a complaint and got my money back same day. So pretty nice, happy with that. So I am definitely sending those back to him. He can keep that nonsense. But yeah, definitely if you guys didn't know, be careful on eBay. Apparently this is a huge thing with people taking these old packs and repackaging them up and taking all the good cards out of them and reselling them like you can get, big time hits in it. But, news to me, I had no idea that was a thing. Like, I am thinking, oh yeah, we'll get some Michael Jordans. Definitely not. So keep that in mind if you guys do buy cards on eBay. What else? Had my sons had another baseball t-ball game last night, so that's kind of kind of fun. My team did really well. There's just one kid on the team that I kind of put him near me. He's very hyper. Like, I'm pretty sure he's got some type of like ADHD. I mean, the kid never stops talking, never stops moving, just constantly go type kid. And it was funny. I was like, kept trying to get him to pay attention in the game because I just didn't want him to get. I had him in I think I had him at second base. Just didn't want him to catch a ball in the face, as he's spinning in circles. But I kept saying, "Hey, Rowan, pay attention." And I finally was like, "All right, if you're not going to pay attention at the end of the game, I'm going to have you run a bunch of laps." Is kind of what I threatened him with. But not this kid. He's like, "No, I like running laps." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll run some laps then." So I was like, "I'm going to have you run 10 laps." And he's like, I don't care. 10? He's like, "I'll do 20. And I'm like, "Oh, you're going to do 20 laps, huh?" And I'm like, "How about 30 laps? So I ended up getting him talked up to doing 100 laps, right? So end of the game comes, we start getting ready to do some laps. And I'm like, "All right, Rowan, don't forget to do your laps," And he looks at me like almost thinking I'm joking. But then he gets out onto the base, and I'm basically just doing laps like from basically running the bases type thing. And I'm like, "All right, go for it." And he starts taking off. He gets like 2 laps in. I'm like, "All right, 98. 98 more." I start counting it down. His parents are like looking at me, and I walk over and start talking to him like, "Yeah, he wasn't paying attention." So I basically told him, "You got to start doing laps." So they're like, "Oh yeah, go for it. Have him do as much as you want." I'm like, "Oh wow, I didn't expect his parents just be like, 'Yeah, we don't care.'" So it's kind of funny. But kid, he ended up getting like 4 laps deep, and he's huffing and puffing. I'm like, "But I thought you could do 100. So I started running with him. I'm like, "I'm gonna catch you," just chasing him as we're doing laps. So it's pretty funny. Game went well. My son was not having it though. I think one of them I pitched to him. He ended up like jumping and trying to like chop at the ball, like literally like straight down as he jumped. I was like, "What the heck was that?" Like, "No, that is not how we swing." So he's still trying to learn, but it's funny at that age. They're so bad. But yeah, that wasn't your guys' phone. Don't worry. That was definitely my phone. I know you guys probably jumped right there. Like, "Oh God, who's calling me right now?" Actually, I got happened one time. I got a message from one of you guys comment saying, "Man, that scared the crap out of me." Jumped up and was like, "What the heck's going on here? Who's calling me?" So I thought that was funny. What else can we talk about? How's this game going? Not even paying attention. Probably cycling all terrible. You guys got me distracted here talking about baseball cards and t-ball. I actually told my buddy today. I was scrolling Spotify, so I got a friend that he's actually, I kind of work with him. He's one of my vendors, and I had found out he actually does music on Spotify, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like, as a kid, I always wanted to learn, because I was always really good at writing and doing stuff like that. So it's like, man, I always wanted to like write my own song and whatnot, and I'm gonna leave probably a little link to his Spotify page, but he's actually started doing his own songs, and they're really good, actually. I'm really surprised. His name's Jimmy Rhodes, so if you guys are interested in helping his channel out, or his he's on Spotify, I think he's on Apple, and he's on Amazon, but really good music. Has actually really surprised me with how good it was for kind of amateur music, or doing his own thing. But so talking with him, I'm basically kind of in the works with him now. I want to attempt to write my own song. I thought that'd be cool, just because it's kind of been a lifelong thing I've always wanted to do. As far as writing music, I've always been a big fan of country music primarily, and I do like the rock and the southern rock style as well, like Tyler Childers and Whiskey Meyer type song feeling to it. His music is a little more popish, I would say, if you guys like pop music. He does a little bit of rapping in some of them as well. Kind of soulful. One of them is really soulful sounding, so it's pretty neat. But So basically, anyways, back to what I was kind of getting into is I was thinking about writing my own song. So I actually had sat down, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago and just put pen to paper, trying to figure out a song I could write. And a lot of you guys don't know this, but I actually had a pretty traumatic incident happen in my life where my father actually had killed himself. Pretty sad. He'd gotten hurt. I don't know, like pulled a muscle or strained his back or something. Ended up getting bedridden for like a month or two. And then just got really depressed, got on anxiety pills. And I think that was the primary cause was the anxiety meds. He ended up thinking he was sick all the time. Kept thinking, they taking him to the hospital, kept thinking he had something, but his health checks kept coming back. Oh, you're good, nothing's wrong. So he was doubting it though. He said nothing, it just didn't feel right. So he ended up, taking his own life finally. I think took like a whole bottle of those pills or whatever, and just didn't go well from there. So I ended up wanting to write a song kind of along those lines with, suicide awareness type feelings to it, and just kind of support that. And a lot of guys don't realize what that does to people and how it can really affect people around you, I mean, for those of you that, are thinking about something like that, just obviously seek help. I mean, it is very, especially a lot of these medicines now can kind of put that into your mind, these thoughts of that. So please, if you guys, ever think something like that, do reach out, get help, because it does really affect the people around you. Something I still deal with to this day. It's been a few years now, but I mean, not a day goes by where it doesn't hurt, So definitely my song is kind of pertaining to that anyway. With how it goes is maybe I'll kind of read some of it to you guys, see what you guys think. You guys can leave some comments, but so basically the premise of the song is through my father's eyes. So kind of like looking back at my life as a child versus my life now, and how he probably saw things through his eyes when I was little and raising me, and now how I'm looking at my sons and raising my children, and kind of like looking through my father's eyes is kind of the premise behind the song. Sorry, make sure I can play these cards right here. But yeah, I got one of my buddies at work who's a real good guitar player, and I'm not a very good guitar player or singer by any means, but he is. So I've showed him my lyrics. He actually wants to collaborate with myself and the other guy that I know that does the music, and kind of put a little country soul, like not souls, but country southern rock feel to this song. But I'll read you guys a couple of verses and maybe the chorus here. At least what I have so far is, so it starts off, it's like, little boy turned 3 today, wild and free as he can be, busting through the back door, toys scattered across the floor. Life is just a playground, a boy destined to be found. And then it kind of goes into like a little guitar riff, and then basically goes through my father's eyes, all the places that they've seen, the man I hope to someday be, always fought for what was right, with his Trans Am painted white, hardest working man I knew, but projects rarely finished through. But towards the end, like the last verse is where it kind of hits home with me. And it kind of, so that was kind of the chorus I just went through. And then when you get to the very end, it's, hang on, am I about to lose this round? Gotta pay attention. It basically says, again, through my father's eyes, I said his disease was way too much, because I feel like suicide is a disease personally. He was in the Vietnam War, so I don't know if he had some PTSD issues along with that, but anyways, through my father's eyes, his disease was way too much. We always thought he was so tough, staring down at his gun, forgetting everything he loved. All the pain we could not see, It wasn't you, it wasn't me through my Father's eyes. So essentially saying, to my mom, like, hey, it's not your fault, it's not my fault. We couldn't do anything about it, but if someone wants to take their life, sometimes there's just nothing you can do to convince them otherwise. But definitely, if you are one of those people, reach out, because it is obviously very serious, and it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. Now I get to live with that. My sons get to live with not knowing who their grandfather is. My youngest never even got to meet him, so that's very sad to me. But anyway, sorry to get a little depressing on you guys there, but like I said, we were talking about it today, so it just kind of made me think of it, and wanted to bring that up to you. But so I might drop, if we can ever finish this song and actually release it on Spotify or something, I'll probably drop you guys a link. If you guys are interested, you can check it out. But I want it to be something that's pretty impactful for people when they do hear it, because I know a lot of people out there do deal with these kind of things. And there's been some good songs lately too come out that I've really liked, kind of on that same theme of, your father's passed away, and, I think there was one, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but guy was like calling his dad's old number to like just hear the answering machine type thing. I thought that was kind of a cool one. Can't remember what the name of it was though. I've been on one lately by I think it's Red Light Kings is the name of the band. It's called Old Man. It's a really cool song too if you guys haven't heard that one. Basically, guys like, talking about, old man, look at my life now, where I'm at, and kind of just talking back to his dad, like, who's passed away, like, hey, hope you're up there checking out my life now and seeing what I was able to accomplish, kind of be like you type thing. Dang, been kicking butt. I ain't even paying attention. I'm still winning. This deck must be doing something right. But yeah, definitely check out my buddy's Spotify and stuff. He's pretty good. You guys might like it if you're into that kind of music. He's definitely got some talent. But like I said, I'll leave a link in the description for this. If you guys are interested in that, you can check it out. If not, no big deal. Figured I'd offer. All right, we got this jet car here for the very finale. This deck's done pretty good. I like this little Jinn Haru Pex, however you say that card. Didn't seem like I struggled too badly with energy, but then again, I didn't really need to make it to rounds 4 and 5, did I? So, are we winning here? Do I even have to worry about energy? Probably not. I think we're good. I think we just kicked his booty. Well, there it is, guys. Deck did really well. Dang, and I was totally going to talk about some other stuff too, but never mind. Game's over. You guys are just going to have to tune in next week. Maybe I'll drop another video in another 6 months or so. And I'm just kidding. You guys are always like, it's been so long. It's been 4 days, okay? It's not that long. All right. All right, guys. Well, anyway, appreciate you guys checking out the video. Hopefully you liked the deck. And sorry I got down a little rabbit hole there talking about, a bunch of life stuff. So hopefully you guys weren't too bored with me rambling on. But like I said, definitely check out my buddy's Spotify page if you're interested. And like I said, keep an eye out. We might drop a video eventually of my song. That'd be something pretty cool you guys can check out. But all right, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Have a good night.